Well, folks, I knew this day would come, man. They're circling probably the Lockheed helicopter here is coming up on me. Don't be surprised that after nearly 300 videos, some of them exposing their crimes, what do I expect? Well, it is what it is. I'm going to have to finish this in my place if it comes down to it. So, yeah, but the thing is, I mean no harm. And so... So I was talking about the sympathetic nervous system. And the idea of meeting a tiger, okay, that exists for survival, okay? So, like, my brother was a waiter, and then he taught himself by studying a lot, really hard on Facebook and YouTube how to be a small appliances repairman, and started mining Bitcoin and became a landlord. And that's an example. My brother's a shining example. Pretty much everyone I hang out with in Santa Cruz either sells wrapped quartz, or other crafts, and because they're not stressing out or getting signatures for the elections, because they're not stressing out on the clock. They have time. They have time to talk. So basically, if you work an hourly slave job your whole life, or you believe in this system of stress, money makes the world go round, this narrative, this cortisol is often pretty much road rage. It's releasing this stress. If you don't meditate, it's in there, coming out all the time. And the idea, you got to understand that this cortisol in the sympathetic nervous system exists for survival. It's not something you should be using all the time. And so stress, like a stress tizzy, strong, consistent stress, strong, consistent anxiety can easily lead to cancer, premature death. And these are the results of these external threats persisting when you believe this. You believe what these literal devils and devil worshippers tell you over the decades. Okay? And noticing how you feel in these moments. Notice you must reject the clock. Okay? Eventually, to find peace, you're going to be a entrepreneur or artisan or musician, a healer. You work for yourself. You have to pay the rent for a while until you realize how to move out of that. It might take a couple years. I don't know. It's different for everyone. I'm not here to tell you what to do. This is just my perspective. The hands of the clock are swords around the Glock. Whenever I have an appointment, since I'm fortunate and blessed and spoiled enough not to be on an hourly wage job, I feel like it's cutting me up. It's cutting me up. It's cutting me up. When I'm running late, I'm getting cut up. I'm getting cut up. If I don't have enough time to do what I need to do, it's cutting me up. It's cutting up the quality of my life. It's cutting me up. Cut me up. Cut me up. That's what the clock is like to me, man. It's a cut up. It's a cut us up system. Cut up the quality of life. This is a sign I made for that protest to end homelessness that my spirit guides would not let me go to. That shit, man. Come on. Right here, right now. There is no other place for me. Right here, right now. To help the world wake up from history. The hands of the clock are swords and around the Glock that shoots the quality of life of average slaves. Okay, that's what it is. You don't notice that by now. If you ever noticed that by now, maybe you just think being stressed out is beneficial because you're that masochistic. You have that bad of a Stockholm syndrome with the demiurge, okay? Feeling this quality of slavery and stress and cancer Eventually, you'll become an artisan, a musician, a farmer, a healer, or join a community and use the clock about as often as you need the sympathetic cortisol in the wild. This is the perfect marker. I don't know. This came to me from my spirit guides today as an idea. Just shot down. Okay, this is how much you should be looking at the clock. They're telling me you ideally you want to look at the clock about as often as you would be using that cortisol in nature. Okay, once in a however long that is. Very rarely, probably. The synchronization within the timeless now is the spiritual responsibility of the awakened soul who's aware of what the timeless now is, and even, a tiny fathom of its power. Going through this bifurcation that the planet and humanity is going through right now, it's really intense and actually terrifying in some ways if you're not ready for it. Because all those things from the 3D slave reality, if you're addicted to your narcissism, if you're addicted to being an energy vampire, if you're addicted to the cortisol rush, I knew a man who was a veteran who told me that he liked to race motorcycles because he liked the high of adrenaline, that he never he never did drugs, he didn't want to try drugs, that he was addicted on that. So people get addicted to that energy of, oh, you're going to come closer now, huh? Even the freaking hornet has entitlement, okay? So, bifurcation means that there's going to be a split. I mean, half, or maybe over half of the planet took the experiment, and it was designed to prevent you from, I don't want to tell you this, but it was designed to prevent your ascension, and here it is. And it's like canceling that ticket. It's like going to try to trigger you to do some dumb shit. That's what it's going to be. Whereas if you're ready, if you're willing to do the shadow work, and if you watch all my videos, then or some of them even, then maybe you can ascend to at least the fifth dimension of the heart, and there will be no living in a stress tizzy, in case you hadn't already figured that out. Okay, going through the bifurcation, the frequency split is going to be really intense, because the slave clock and the Babylonimeter is the achieved first step in the planetary takeover. They achieved it. Most people, especially around here, people you'd think wouldn't act stressed out. Again, there's a lot of hologramic, ELF, Zeta, Hadron colliders beaming at them, and the high cost of rent, which is fake as hell. Like I said, according to the Lutheran, the Bible Covenant Presbyterian Church, it's already over, right? So, what we have to do is reject the mechanical beast 666 12-hour clock as much as possible. Take time out every day if you can to meditate or exercise in nature without your cell phone, without your watch. Once you're off work and you don't have an appointment, do the challenging trick of being on mechanical time when you need to, which is hopefully rarely. Or here's another idea for you people. Here you go, world. Here you go, planet Earth. Here's how you deal with your fucking damn appointments. Be one of these people who goes on Humboldt time or Hawaii time. What does that mean? Well, they say if you live in Humboldt County or if you live in the Hawaiian Islands, you'll make an appointment to meet somebody on a certain day, sometime during that day. That's Hawaiian time and Humboldt time. So Humboldt time might be within the hour or something like that, a certain hour. I've been fired from 2 jobs for being 5 minutes late, which is one of the first times I realized that this whole idea of the clock is pretty reptilian. I felt the whip of the reptile tail when they fired me. So the Kali Yuga is the cycle of time we're in, supposedly, according to the ancient Hindu calendar, and which is known to be chaos, right? The Mayan calendar, it was supposedly ended December 21st, 2012, and so the Kali Yuga is known as the end times. But the end of the Mayan calendar in 2012 means that we're now in the age of the sixth sun, which is also known as the age of Aquarius, which is why I can say all this stuff on YouTube, and they're not trying to inject antipsychotics into my arm right now for doing it. When we were in the dark ages a few decades ago, they might have done that. Okay, in the age of the sixth sun, I'm a 6 in numerology, so welcome to the age of timelessness, my family. In the sixth sun, we will reclaim the quality of timelessness, man. We will reclaim. Remember how it felt when you were a teenager or 23 years old, and you were with your friends partying in nature, and the whole day seemed to go on so long, you were completely divorced from that damn Babylonimeter. Remember that? Well, you can go back there again if you have the courage and create the duration, the space in your week to do it. Well, we're going to start calling it strong now. It's not my idea, but create space in the strong to do it, okay? So I ask you now, in all seriousness and heyoka, silliness, really, because I'm a serious heyoka, okay? Where will you be here in the timeless now, embodied on the timeless, endless now, and be in the present? If so, you can have an awesome gift back to life, the Christ, the non-repressive, the good Orobolo, the good Taurus energy flow of creation, where when you're in the timeless and you're in the works of service, you give back with nothing in the way, nothing blocking it. The real new normal timeless service is a joy to the one. Talk as long as you want. Every soul is reality. I and I. Kings on the land. Kings of the self. Kingless sovereignty. As an anarchist, Mark Passio coined this term. I love it. Anarchist. That's what I am. There is only one infinite loving God. When there's planes circling, infinite spies, you realize Satan has no soul, just AIs, and infiltrate my harmless, respectful love into, and I infiltrate my harmless, respectful love into an artificial world of ones and zeros, sterility, cancer, and hate. I am the memory of the future for timeless joy. And if you can remember it, you're free, at least when you don't have to come up with money or go tend your crop to survive. At least when you don't have to take care of your animal husbandry projects or do your business deals to make sure you can pay your mortgage and get food on the table. You're free in those other moments. And so really, will you be here on timelessness? Because it's your birthright, and that's going to be part of how you can get your life back, if you haven't already done so. And also I want to say to those of you to the man who just subscribed, who's wise enough to know what's happening, don't assume that disclosure, that open, transparent sharing of information and the truth is going to get me in trouble. Because you know what? I consider the CIA my family, and one of my friends, his dad was raised in the CIA, and he's mentally ill because of it, probably, amongst other reasons. But the thing is that every race is my family. These Russians, and this other woman telling me it's dangerous. And this guy saying that YouTube is openly letting the Russians hack, and surely, they're probably already making money off this content somehow, And I'm okay with that. But if anybody out there has any money that they want to donate to me, you have extra money to donate, even a couple bucks, hey, there's a donate button on there. So feel free. And remember, it's up to you to make your life beautiful. No one else can do it for you. Create a great one, my family.